Okay, I think we are live. Yes, we
Yay!
are. Good morning, everyone. Let me just check that everything is good.
The tech gremlins did not win today.
I
We are
can't believe.
here. Oh, I see you. You're going live. I'm gonna bring this up. I don't know if it's
Yes,
gonna,
we are live.
yeah, it's gonna be
Okay,
great. Hopefully I
so
can
I'm
catch
going
any
to get out
comments.
of here and bring this up. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
This is
having
me with a
me.
guest, and I have a very special guest today, my lovely friend Emily Olehausen. I don't know
Hi,
how to say
hi.
it right. Olehausen. And
Olehausen, it's
I
fine.
still wrote, she
It's
is
totally
a
okay.
life coach, and I will let her introduce herself, but I have been thinking about bringing someone in who can help us navigate our challenges that we are facing, and it's not just with the healing itself, because that's why I'm here, helping you, telling you what we could do, recommendations, suggestions. But there is another layer of this healing path that I am not trained in, and this is where we want to focus on with Emily. So thank you so much, Emily, for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. And I have to honestly say, like, being involved in your group has been such a light in my week because the questions are so good and I just feel like I'm in the right place at the right time. And Andy, you have such a super power of healing people and knowing what supplements will work, and I just hope to enhance that journey for anyone a part of your page, really. So, as Andy said, I'm Emily Olhausen. I am a women's life coach and I'm a certified health and life coach. But really, there's so much overlap in healing our health and healing our life that I really focus on the full wraparound support of life itself and how one thing really trickles into another. And so I really love to focus with women who are learning and wanting to create more work-life balance. Someone who is, seeing success in their career, but not seeing success at home in their life, and they're not able to enjoy the success they've created. And there's so much of that that comes down to health and mindset and so much. So I'm excited to dive in. I did take some notes because I want to make sure that we hit on the two questions that were asked in the chat. But just it kind of, I didn't know if you had any specific questions to begin with, Andy, for
So
me before we go to
before we,
those.
yeah, before we start, let's just review what we did. So what we did, Emily and I got together beforehand, and we created a poll. And our question was, and I know many of you have voted, so thank you so much. What is your biggest challenge that keeps you stuck moving forward with your healing from Epstein-Barr? And then we
Mhm.
had some suggestions, and then some of you put in different ones, which we really appreciate. And I know that you are going to answer the questions that came in beforehand, which I am
Mhm.
I'm so grateful that people are actually stepping up and asking questions. I don't know if you have
Yeah.
seen my rant this week.
I watched some of it. I couldn't catch it all, but honestly, it's really refreshing for people to put out there what exactly they need. And I
Exactly.
really just want to keep on encouraging that behavior because unless we ask, we don't know. And the truth is that if somebody has that question, somebody else is sitting at home with the same question. So it's really powerful to just kind of stand in your power and ask for what you need. It's a
Yes,
great
I
job,
am.
everyone.
This is why I'm here. I
Mhm.
want people understand that advocating for yourself right now with
Mhm.
Epstein-Barr is our number one priority, because
Mhm.
doctors are still not accepting the fact, which is in the research studies, that Epstein-Barr virus is reactivating, can
Mhm.
reactivate, and can bring in so many different things, so many
Mhm.
symptoms, totally unrelated, and they are just not putting it together. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
start. What are the three areas that you wanted to talk about?
Okay, well, this spark came to me through like some of the great questions. So, how to maintain work with clear mind and energy. Someone commented, by the end of some days, I'm exhausted and running a low grade fever. Supplements and organic food are expensive. I had to quit my second job. And then somebody else commented in the same kind of theme. I spend a good amount of time and energy cooking, taking supplements, exercising, all chores, errands. It takes up a lot of energy. And so I really wanted to comment on this. And so it's, first of all, I am here with you. There is so much going on in life. We are moving 8,000, no, probably a million miles a minute. We are doing all the things all the time, the chores, the work, the healing, the working out. All these things are running, they're open tabs in our brain. And so I really want to hit on this first because I think it goes over both questions really well. And so in my 4-step balance cycle that I have and I coach on, one of the steps is power pause. And
Okay.
it's a lot more than just a pause. Of course, taking a deep breath, reevaluating, it's very effective. And it gives us a minute to really reground ourselves and check in. It's a very useful tool and even to remember to slow down and check in. But when we feel so exhausted in our workday and our personal lives, there's also a strong possibility that there's a lack of clarity and decisiveness. Because without awareness around our decisions and how we are running our day, we really are just on autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
And so even when we're exhausted through all the things we have to do, we never have a chance to actually challenge what we're doing. Is this task actually beneficial? Is this going to move the needle? And one of the things that kind of gets cloudy is that we confuse busyness with productivity. So a lot of us, it's like a badge of honor these days to feel so busy. You ask anyone, oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm just so busy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's not that impressive if you're also feeling like you're drowning and exhausted. I would rather you much be productive and get 3 valuable things done in a day. And so there are some simple steps that I would love to encourage you to do. So the first one is just simply choosing to be intentional with your next choice. It's just taking that pause. Okay, the next choice I'm going to choose. I'm not going to do it because it's what I usually do. I'm not going to do it because I should do this. I'm just going to choose my next choice. I don't care how big or small it is. I just want you to be in your mind decisive, standing in your power. And this is really, really going to start compounding how your day runs. And so, what that looks like is you are intentional and you're making these simple choices intentionally, and you get to change your posture around your day, which really brings us a lot of clarity. And so, after you decide to make that next choice intentionally, I really encourage you to decide what to do next. So all these things come together really beautifully because we're taking a second, we're choosing to be intentional, and then we get to find that next best choice. So it's really how this helps in our healing and balancing work is that we get to choose if are we really that busy? Are we feeling, can some of these things be pushed? Are they arbitrary things on our calendar or arbitrary things that we're saying yes to that we really want to say no to? What is our actual energy capacity here? Especially on your healing journey where you're facing exhaustion, you're trying to get your body back up to a higher vibration and function. So you really have to be intentional. What are we doing every day on autopilot that we can take out? I think just awareness around that in itself is going to change how you show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I hopefully that resonates because I think that a lot of it when we're on our healing journey, there's a part where we show up the same way as we used to.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that oh, just because I've done this for so long, I've worked, you know, 50, 60 hours a week. Now I could do the same thing, but I'm really struggling. And it's like we have to challenge, where we are right now, and like we have to honor it as well. So how can we change our day to, really help us be in alignment with our own energy, even if it's just for a season, and like, how does this season look for me? Maybe I do have to take a step back. Maybe I can outsource some things. Maybe I can delete some things on my calendar. Maybe I can say no more or ask for support. Just those small decisions are really powerful.
So what you're saying, just let's give uh, like an example of it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm here now. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to you,
Yep.
and then the next step would be I would go upstairs and I would start my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what I do. But of
Okay.
course, I'm not going to do it because I'm in a reactivated state. Uh,
Okay.
so
Mm-hmm.
coffee is out. So the
Mm-hmm.
next choice would be okay, I would love to have a coffee,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going
Yeah.
to do that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
intentionally saying that because I am in a reactivated state and I know that coffee is not for me.
Yeah.
And
And
so
so, yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and so your next best step might be, okay, like I really love the feeling of having like something warm in my hand. It makes me feel really cozy in the morning, supported, whatever it is. And you're like, what can I do to, make myself feel those things, but not compromise my health?
Hmm.
So maybe it is a cup of tea, or maybe it's a warm glass of, warm lemon water, whatever it is, and just being curious alone sets you up for more intentionality,
Hmm.
you know. But another example of this, and it would be even right now, we're on live Zoom, right? And you might be thinking three or four other things that you have to do today,
Hmm.
right? And so, what I would encourage you to do is just take a deep breath and say, I'm here on Zoom, even internally. Nobody has to know you're having these conversations with yourself, but really, it grounds us and changes our heart posture of what we're experiencing. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing right now,
Hmm.
and I'm really loving this moment. I'll handle those things after, right? That's one thing that I know to be true is we can handle everything. We just need to be supported in the way that we approach everything in our lives, right? Because it is true, we all have those chores lists, the task at work, the projects we'd love to do, the ideas. We can handle it all.
Hmm.
We just need to slow down, figure out what the priority is. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
So yeah, so the first
Okay.
step it's really mindset, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
intention.
absolutely mindset.
And
Yeah.
then, this is one thing that I teach too, that we have to be intentional about why we are healing, why we are
Mm-hmm.
doing this hard path. It's not an easy path to go. Just
Yeah.
like you're saying, we really need to know our whys,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to push us. So the first step is that we have to be intentional about our next step. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just slowing down enough to realize this is my next step and just fully deciding it. If your next step is to go eat the biggest piece of chocolate cake you've ever seen, I love it. I just want you to decide it. I don't want you to be like looking at your plate, you're like, oh my God, how did I just eat this cake? Well, because you just did it on autopilot. You're not like fully in the moment, fully present. And so it's the same thing like when we see work life, our home life, we just decide fully this is what we're doing. We get all our power back.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about, you hit on is like the mindset around healing and why, right? It's a hard challenging path to be on healing. And so one of the things I would suggest is not only having a why, right? Because sometimes a why isn't strong enough. Of course, I want to heal. I want to live longer. I want to feel better, right? All these things that naturally come in that process. But really, what is a great anchor to reground yourself is visualizing. How does it feel? What does it feel like when I've reached the point of healing where I've healed my body? what am I doing? What am I energetically capable of now? When I'm healed, I'm seeing myself on top of mountains. I'm hiking. I'm carrying my babies on my backpack. I'm waking up thriving. And that is grounding me more than like, of course, I want longevity. Yes, but like really seeing and picturing that moment of success for you. What does that look like? And what does it feel like, more importantly?
I totally agree. And I remember my big why was I was unable to, my son was 7 or 5. I don't even remember, that was so long ago. But I wanted to have dinner with them because I was unable to actually get up and sit at the dinner table.
Wow.
And I also
Yeah.
wanted to be there for him
Hmm.
when he was playing and doing stuff. And exactly what you did, I actually imagined that I'd be
Hmm.
doing all the fun stuff with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and I'm sure that was such a great anchor, especially and just like an anchor of hope as well. Like when you're in such a spot where you feel like this is gonna be my life forever, and you kind of have that opportunity to downward spiral, it's really great to reground into that vision and that hope. So I really love that. That must have been incredibly difficult. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, I've had days where, when I get sick, I always imagine, like I always think, oh, I'm so grateful for the days I'm healthy.
Hmm. Yeah.
Really, your health puts everything into perspective. And so it's beyond important. And I think that, and this kind of goes into one of the other questions. Blanche's question was about like the cost of supplements and the cost of healthy living. And I just want to kind of bring awareness around possibly what's lying under this question. Sometimes, like as a life coach, I hear questions, but really what's happening underneath is something different. And there's this mindset around health that it's all or nothing.
Hmm.
It's all or nothing, like, oh, like I just want to be healthier, or like I just want to be fully healed. Of course we do. But today, right now, to honor where we are, what is something we can do, just even 1%, even half a percent, one baby step to get us to that final destination. And so kind of the mindset is all or nothing, but when we break it down, we can kind of get more curious, kind of what we're talking about. Curiosity is us taking back our power. And so whether, you know, grocery shopping, I'm the grocery shopper in the house, and I know food's expensive. There is validity to this. I mean, it's hard out here in the streets, right? But when we like think about fueling our body and we think, okay, what's going to help me feel better? We don't necessarily have to get all organic foods, although that would be best, right? We know that. We can logically understand that. But maybe it's this week I'm going to grab organic eggs and chicken, and I'm just going to maybe get some more affordable rice. And make some of your best choices as far as like surrounding your favorite foods. Like, okay, this week I can just experiment.
Hmm.
And I think like sometimes like with health, and I could just be speaking for myself here, but for me, I'm like, if I don't dive 2 feet full body in on my health, then it doesn't matter. So I might as well just eat that processed food. I might as well just feel like crap for the rest of the month because like I already, I did XYZ. I feel like crap now. But really, like if you can get into that future state of yourself of, sitting at the dining room table with your son and having dinner, right? That anchor of hope. Okay, what does that person do? What does she decide? Does she decide, hey, you know what, this morning eggs are going to fuel me best? I'm going to have some eggs. And then I am going to have that supported supplement. I'm just going to see how I feel. And wow, I feel really great. These things are working. Okay, well, you know what? I think I can compromise on a few other things in my household or that I do outside of health to make sure that I'm a priority here. And I think that's another thing that it comes down to is, are you worth it? having that conversation is difficult because a lot of times, we identify with giving everything to everyone, but we have to draw a line in the sand like, hey, I am worth the expense of feeling good because everything around me benefits when I'm thriving. So there's a lot of layers here. I know I just like did a huge umbrella worth of
Let's go
information.
back. Let's go back a little bit because you really expressed some really good points. Food. Um,
Hmm.
so one thing that I always suggest, and you're right, we don't have to have everything
Hmm.
organic.
Hmm.
I myself use, and I put it in our group. There is a list of
Hmm.
12 foods that must be organic because it's on the list. We know that they
Hmm.
are the most pesticides ridden. And then there
Yeah.
is Clean 15. I think it's 12, what is it? Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. And it's from the Environmental Working Group. They do that every.
Okay. Yeah. Hmm.
I take that list with me. When it
Hmm.
comes out, I just kind of, print it out, cut it. It's in my purse. And I buy those organic. That's one
Perfect.
thing. And then
Hmm.
I don't care about the rest. The
Hmm.
second thing that I really press that we need to eat with the seasons. Because
Mm.
when we eat with the seasons, those fruits and vegetables are going to be in big amount everywhere. So the
Hmm.
price is not going to be that high.
Yes.
I have to
Yeah, I
say,
agree.
I was just putting it out. The fall seasons is coming in, and I know
Hmm.
that you're in the East Coast, so you have different weather patterns. But fall is here. We are going to go into the squash and the comforting food, the root
Hmm.
vegetables.
Yeah.
I'm a gardener, and I'm going to harvest my last tomatoes and peppers. I do
Gosh.
not buy tomatoes and peppers in the winter. First
Yeah.
of all, I don't want to eat hothouse things because
Hmm.
they don't taste. Second, they are
Yeah.
expensive.
Hmm.
So I don't buy
Absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
I do can tomatoes if I want to make, a pasta or something,
Hmm.
gluten-free pasta. By the way, you mentioned eggs, and I just wanted to tell our audience that eggs is
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you know what? As I
Gluten-free.
was saying that, I was like, you know what? I just don't feel like that's the right example, but thank you for
But we understand
clarifying.
what you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think this is really important that uh, we are living on budget, and I think most of
Hmm.
us, even I do. Um, and I always, when I go to the store or make the list for my husband, I'm looking at what can I make that is
Hmm.
in season, and having the stuff that I have at home.
Hmm.
And not I don't Yes, I do say that we have to do lots of antioxidants, and antioxidants are really profound in berries.
Hmm.
But you think that I'm going to get fresh strawberries in Colorado in the middle of winter? No. And I'm not going to have blueberries either. So what I do is
Yeah.
I get frozen ones,
Yeah.
frozen organic.
Hmm.
And it's okay to use that. It's going to
Yeah.
be the same thing,
Hmm.
but I'm not spending $10 for a quarter.
Yeah. And I think that's a great example of compromising and still making shifts within the capacity that you have,
Yeah,
right? Like you're not spending the $10 on fresh strawberries that are out of season that probably are just coated with stuff.
yes,
You're like, okay, I'm going to get some frozen fruit that have this. I'm going to have a smoothie or, whatever it is every day. And that's okay. Like, I think that if we could just take away the hard edges here and live in the middle, then the healing journey, I mean, wellness in itself becomes a lot more approachable.
mhm,
And even, going for a walk, like people think with exercise as well, like, oh, I have to do this workout every single day. I have to do
yes,
this. I have to do this. But what if it was just as simple as going outside within, 90 minutes of eating for a 10-minute walk and you feel the sunshine on your face. You look at the mountains around you if you're in beautiful Colorado, if you're lucky enough. And that's that. And, there is like studies showing that like that kind of exercise where you are in a lower state of stress is just as beneficial
or more.
than,
I have to say,
yeah, or more than doing a hit workout. And so there's so many things like if you just let yourself get curious, where can I compromise and still put myself as number one priority here? Then I think there's a lot more improvement that's happening behind the scenes.
yes.
We don't have to stay like we're not locked in. I think sometimes we just need the permission slip to make it our own journey.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's
Yeah.
the side that you're helping with the mindset,
Hmm.
to helping people realize that there is another way.
Yeah.
And then I come in and I give them the choices that, okay,
Hmm.
instead of going to the gym, and
Hmm.
this is a big thing for most of my people who are,
Hmm.
these moms who are in their 50s, and they were marathon runners, or they were doing uh,
Hmm.
going to the gym 3 times a week,
Yeah.
and doing hard exercises, and they cannot do it, and they
Hmm.
are feeling that they are actually uh, letting their body go. And I'm saying, let's look
Yeah.
at the other way. Let's
Hmm.
look at that we are going to give permission to our body to heal, but
Hmm.
we still need to move it.
Yeah. When we look at movement in a way where like, and this is something that I have had quite a journey on, um, and I won't take you back that far because I know we have a short amount of time, but when we look at movement in a different scope, we can lessen the pressure around it. If we look at movement as mental health and healing versus caloric, you know, ex I'm missing the word, like expenditure. Like if we change our thought process around it and we say, okay, our nutrition and our movement is mental health and healing versus like the workout has to be hard. And I think, we get stuck so much in the passive versions of us, like, oh, I used to be able to do this. I used to work this many hours a week. I'm not anymore. It gives us an opportunity to say, like, okay, first of all, I am not who I used to be. I am a different version of myself. And coming to terms with that is hard, but there is also a transformational power that happens when we recognize like where you are right now, you get to create. And so, how does this person want to approach movement and fitness?
Mhm.
Maybe it's just, okay, recognizing like, hey, I'm not where I was. I'm not doing CrossFit. I'm not putting my adrenals at a heightened state. But wow, I'm so grateful to be outside.
Yes.
And sometimes it is a little bit, I don't want to like go as far as like the little bit of like selling a story in your head, but sometimes it is. Because when you go outside for a walk and you're like, well, this isn't CrossFit, we're not really doing much, like that feeling puts us into an inaction. When we are fully committed that a walk isn't doing much, then we just stop walking.
Yes.
But if we can change the feeling that we have with that action, like you go for a walk, you're like, wow, I'm glad that I have enough intentionality in my day to put 10 minutes aside for myself. Good for me. I'm unstoppable. I'm going to do 20 minutes next week, whatever it is. And so I think like there's so much there with movement and healing and again, living in the gray area of that. And also, one of the questions I love to coach on, or one of the things I love to coach on is this question. Say, is it true?
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? Is it true that walking for 10 minutes a day isn't as healing or isn't as healing as going to CrossFit for 40 minutes? Is it true?
As good for the body, because we have
Mm-hmm.
to look at the body as it is at the
Mm-hmm.
moment,
Exactly.
not thinking about our 20-year self when
Mm-hmm.
we're able to do things and our
Yeah.
body was thriving.
Yeah. Like, is it fair for us to look back on those days and like our brain, as we know, we've spent a lot of time talking about how our brain is always going back and looking for the evidence it has. And so what we need to do is we need to build a case for ourselves that proves new evidence. Okay, your brain is going back to those CrossFit eras, those gym days. Okay, but right now we're in a different season. So let's go for a walk. Okay, that felt really good. Let's go for an hour walk. Ooh, I love the sunshine. Let's go for an hour walk. Right? And we're building this. This feels really good. This feels really good. And so our brain is shifting subtly behind the scenes to help us have what we need to support our body and healing. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
I love that question, Emily. Is
Thank
it
you.
true?
Is
Is
it
it
true?
true? And I'm just thinking, just going back when I was very sick, and I was teaching, I was doing this and this, and then uh, just the question, is it true, for example, that I have to do the laundry, clean the house, do the dishes, cook dinner? Is it
Hmm.
true that I have to do the dishes tonight? No, I don't.
Yes. You're
It will
getting
be
it.
there tomorrow.
Yes.
I can do it when I have time. And
Hmm.
it's so interesting, but since I uh, healed myself and doing better, I do not do the dishes at night. I just say,
Yeah.
it's okay. I'd
Yeah.
rather sit down and have two chapters in my book to be read instead of doing
Yes.
that, and I would be standing and forcing myself and do so. Love this. Let's
So
I
good.
have one big thing in it, and I think it got the most votes about
Hmm.
money.
Yeah.
And I can't afford the supplements, and we already
Hmm.
talked about the organic foods, so
Hmm.
we don't need to go organic 100%, and we don't
Yeah.
need to eat the berries every
Hmm.
day because
Yeah.
someone said that antioxidants is berries.
Yeah.
um, but what about people are struggling to make choices between, and I just bring up mine because I know that many people, when I bring out my programs,
Hmm.
the very first thing is how much is it? And then
Yeah.
I always ask, let's chat. Let's talk
Yeah.
about this before we actually thinking of, okay, I can't
Hmm.
afford it, because it might not be the perfect fit. For first of
Hmm.
all, if you're in that at that path of your journey, we need to see where you are, where this program fits. But
Hmm.
can you talk about that mindset that I just can't afford it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this also has kind of goes back to those similar layers. But the first question I would ask is, what happens if you don't afford it?
Exactly.
What is the cost of staying the same?
Yes.
Right? There is, we put our health on this platform where it's negotiable. Is that true? We were just talking about how health is wealth, right? You could have $1 billion. You can see the richest men in the world. You can see, and hopefully more women, but you can see them. And if they don't have their health, what good is the money? And so, yes, there are, financial aspects to committing to your health journey, but it's so much when you have a program where it gives you step by step, like, and your program is so beautifully like fully wraparound support that there's step by steps, and that clarity alone, taking out the guesswork, how much is that worth to you? Like taking out that extra, chatter in your brain, trying to take another year of guessing and ending up in the same spot you were. We convince ourselves that we can do it ourselves. We can, patchwork this all together, but that at the end of the day, we're spending more money, right? Like on one of your master classes, I realized I was taking, 3 out of 4 supplements, probably 4 out of 4 supplements wrong, right? Like because I had never worked with you before. I was like taking a vitamin. I remember I was taking vitamin C on antibiotics. I think that's the one that like you're not supposed to do, right? Or no, zinc on antibiotics, one of them. And I was like, I just spent, $30 on this nature-made supplement that I have no idea how to take, right? So we're
So you're
throwing
talking
money.
about probiotics.
Yeah, yeah, probiotics. Yeah, I knew you were gonna tell me. I was like, I can't remember exactly, but I stopped immediately. I was like, oh dang, this isn't even working. And so when you have like someone to hold your hand in this health journey and finish it, like heal once and for all, how valuable is that to you? What does it what's the value on you living a life that's thriving? And so really digging down into those questions and realizing like, okay, this matters to me. And then I also think like in the same conversation, we have to talk about what is our worth? Like, what is it, how can we put ourselves higher on the priority list? I think a lot of us just assume like, oh, it's too much money or, oh, I can't afford it. It's like, okay, well, how much are you valuing the transformation? Like, how much are you worth this, like, to be healthy? Ask yourself, do you think you're worthy to live a thriving life? Right? And then also, like, the question, is it true that I can't afford it? Or is it true that I'm not willing to compromise on a life that I'm living on autopilot to make changes to afford it? And
Yes,
that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes.
I think it is because when someone goes through your program, they have to work. It's
Yep.
not like you're telling them, yeah, you okay, you can do this, but if they are
Mm-hmm.
not doing it, then
Mm-hmm.
it's a waste of money.
Yep. Exactly.
If you are thinking, and that's why I always like to talk with people who are interested and
Mm-hmm.
see, because I only work with people who are 100% committed. I
Yeah.
cannot, it's just not good for my soul to take on
Mm-hmm.
someone who is spending that much money
Yeah.
and a 4 and a 5 instead of 10,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the transformation is not going to happen. So
Right.
it's just not, doesn't feel good to my soul to take someone on,
Mm-hmm.
and because I know that they are not going to be able to get the transformation that I promise
Mm-hmm.
if we do that.
Yeah. And I would
So
also challenge, like people who are wondering, of course, like, I think that investment and like how much it's going to cost is part of, the conversation as it should be, right? We want to be intentional about how we spend money, but it's also, those people who are at the end of their rope, who are ready to fully commit, are the ones that are going to see and feel transformation and healing by January, by February. Those people who are 10 toes down, locked in, and want this, they're going to have it. And, the people on the perimeter, and this is fine, they might just not be there yet. They might need to hit a dead end a few more times to say, okay, this really is worth it to me because I have to figure this out. I want to be, thriving with my family. I want to be at home in my garden, feeling, no pain, feeling, like I can move my body. My body is made for me and not going against me. So absolutely, I think like there becomes a threshold where, and I have experienced it in my health as well, where you're like, it doesn't matter what it takes. I'm going to find a way.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
really good way to end our conversation. But before we end
Yeah.
it, let us know how you're helping people and how we can find you.
Yeah, of course. So what I would love to do is drop my Facebook group here in the comments on the live. And also, if anyone's interested, I do have a freebie guide on, just creating more work-life balance. And it's really cool. There's 5 small steps that you take one each day. It's very easy, and it continues the theme of simple actions that compound over time. And when we can get that in line, and then you have the health side, Andi, like it beautifully comes together to feel like so supportive in our everyday life. And so you can join me there, and I'll link my Facebook group below. I also coach live every Friday on different mindset, different work-life balance, tips and just how to create more of what you want in your life. I take like what I've been hearing in my practice and I coach on that so everybody can kind of benefit. And my lives are less than 15 minutes because I know we're all so busy. But I am so grateful that this live we spent extra time together today because I really love your community. It's beautiful and thank you for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely. It was a pleasure having you. And I want everybody to know that, you know, we are professionals in our fields, and
Mhm.
we still have coaches on our own,
Mhm.
because that's how it is. We need to coach ourselves. I need more mindset. I know that. I know
Yeah.
what to do, and sometimes the mindset piece is missing to actually
Mhm.
take that step.
Yeah. Same with health for me, right? Like we go to each other and it's just building that village. Like you don't have to have it all figured out, asking for help, asking the questions that you need. Again, like embracing that is so powerful. Ask for what you need. Advocate
Yes.
in every area of your
Okay.
life.
We're starting with that and we're ending with that. So thank
Perfect.
you so much for being here, Emily. We are going to put all your info, or you can actually, because you are in there, just put
Yeah.
all the info and your freebie, and your freebie down there, because I know people would love to do that. And I highly
Mhm.
recommend her group, because her lives are amazing. And she just did a 5-day challenge that was amazing. And
Oh, thank
that is
you.
little steps that we can take.
Yeah.
Highly
And
recommend.
I'm having a an event at the end of October where I'll be talking more about work-life balance and I'm going to be breaking down my four-step balance system and it really is going to again there's so much overlap with that and our health journey. So I would love for you guys to all join.
And we will put that into, and definitely we will make sure that everybody knows those little things. Because,
Awesome.
you know, some people are ready to do their work,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that's why we are doing this. Uh,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
amazing.
Have a
Thank you. Thank
wonderful
you.
day, everyone.
You too, and everyone here who caught us live. I'll be in the comments if you have any more questions for me.
All right. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.